After 2 excruciatingly long years, Australia's cruise ban is finally set to end. I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. As always, thank you for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. This week, the news that everyone in and around the cruise industry had been longing for finally broke. The ban on large international cruise vessels entering Australia will officially end on April 17th. The entire industry, from agents and suppliers and crew and workers and cruise lovers such as yourselves, have been waiting for this day for almost 2 years. The week started out on a positive, with Federal Tourism Minister Tehan on Monday morning saying there was no reason that the cruise ban wouldn't end in April. That sentiment continued into Tuesday, with Prime Minister Scott Morrison making this statement during a live Q&A with Paul Murray.
The other thing we worked on was getting the cruise industry back in place. And on the 17th of April, which has been our working date now for some time.
And then on Wednesday, the official statement came from Federal Health Minister Greg Hunt's office, which reads, "On the basis of medical advice, the Australian government will not renew the ban on international cruise ships arriving and departing from Australian ports when the current determination expires on April 17. Some additional measures to reduce risk have been mandated and include enhanced pre-arrival reporting and identification of COVID-19 risk through more questions of passengers and improved processes, amendments to the biosecurity instrument to ensure cruise vessels always arrive in negative pratique, that is, permission to unload passengers and cargo, stress testing of the emergency response system in relation to cruises, engaging with the cruise industry on safe resumption, finally, and passengers will be required to be double vaccinated. The decision to allow cruising to restart now rests firmly with the states. However, the eastern states, including New South Wales, Victoria and Queensland, have already flagged their intention to allow cruising to resume, so I don't anticipate that this will pose a problem. On the back of the federal ban being overturned, Princess were quick to make an announcement of their own. Disappointingly, the line indicated that scheduled cruises on board the Majestic Princess from February through May 2023 and the Royal Princess from September 2022 through May 2023 were cancelled. The official reasoning was uncertainty around port access and international restrictions, and whilst valid, I do have to call into question the timing of such an announcement. The best cruise news of the past 2 years was met with further cancellations, and somehow that just didn't feel right. Royal Princess will now home port in San Francisco at the completion of her Alaska season. Coral Princess was originally due to arrive in Australia this October, but Princess have just confirmed that she will instead debut a series of new domestic cruises from Brisbane beginning on June 16th. These new voyages will be available to book from March 24th. P&O Cruises were quick to make changes to their deployment as well. Pacific Adventure and Pacific Encounter were originally scheduled to arrive in Sydney and Brisbane in June, but these early cruises have been cancelled. Instead, Adventure will sail from Sydney in October and Encounter from Brisbane in August. To pick up the slack, Pacific Explorer will make her way to Sydney, where she will be based between the end of May and into October, when Adventure will take her rightful place as Sydney's home-ported ship. P&O have also extended the use-by dates of their customers' future cruise certificates. Any unused amount that was due to expire on March 30th can now be used up until June 30th on any P&O Australia voyage departing up until the end of August 2023. All that means that the first scheduled cruise on a major cruise line from Australia will be the May 31st departure from Sydney on board Pacific Explorer. You can watch my full ship tour of the Pacific Explorer by clicking the link in the description below or above. Royal Caribbean wasted no time and quickly reaffirmed their commitment to the Australian market, releasing this short clip highlighting their upcoming return to service this October. The Royal Caribbean 23-24 Australian summer season is also due to be announced next Monday, March 21st. I'll be bringing you the highlights of that program in a future video, so make sure you subscribe to this channel to stay up to date. Carnival Cruises last week announced a change to their scheduled cruises for this October and November. Anticipating continuing issues with access to international ports, such as those in New Zealand and the South Pacific, Carnival made the decision to replace all of their international itineraries with domestic itineraries instead. And finally, some good news out of New Zealand for our Kiwi cousins shows some good news for the resumption of the cruise industry there. The New Zealand government announced that the country will be reopening to foreign tourists from April and May. In response to these changes, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern was asked specifically about the cruise industry. She confirmed that her government is actively working on a program that will ensure their maritime border restrictions fall in line with their land borders. In confirming that cruise ships will make a return to New Zealand, the Prime Minister tempered her comments by saying that as yet there is no defined timeline on when that will happen. But as we've seen in Australia, progress is still progress. This has been a big week of news updates, and though the experience of the past 2 years still leaves me feeling a little bit cautious about the May 31st cruise from Sydney, I can't help but feel a sense of relief and excitement. Let me know in the comments below, now that the Australian government have committed to lifting the cruise ban, when will you be cruising this year? If you're looking for more information about cruising, head to my website, thecruiseandtravelguide.com.au, and if you haven't done so already, you can give me a follow on Facebook and Instagram at The Cruise and Travel Guide. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. After two excruciatingly long, I can't do that. Excruciatingly long. After 2 excruciatingly long years, this week, the news that everyone in and around the cruise industry, far out. Some additional measures to reduce Coral Princess was originally scheduled to arrive in Australia this October, but something.